All right, picture this. You're standing in the Alaskan backcountry, and the world has gone silent. Not quiet, silent. The kind of silence that hums in your chest and makes you painfully aware of how small you really are. The wind brushes across your parka. The snow crunches under your boots. And somewhere, out there, a 1,000-pound brown bear owns every inch of this wilderness. Out here, you are not the hunter. You are potential prey. And when that beast decides to close the distance, 50 yards faster than you can blink, your rifle isn't a fashion statement. It's your life insurance policy. The men and women who call this place home, Alaskan guides, trappers, subsistence hunters, they're not chasing hype. They don't care what cartridge just set a record in a precision rifle match down in the lower 48. They trust only what's been proven under pressure. They trust what's fed families, stopped charges, and built legends across this frozen frontier. When your trigger finger is numb from the cold, when your rifle's action is gummed up with snow and ice, you don't get a do-over. You pick a round that earns respect the hard way. So, what makes a caliber trustworthy in bear country? Is it raw power, unfiltered, bone-breaking horsepower? Is it laser-flat accuracy that holds steady across a windswept valley? Or maybe it's something deeper, that quiet confidence that no matter how bad it gets, frozen hands, driving sleet, charging predator, your cartridge will still feed, fire, and finish the job. It's a brutal balancing act. You need stopping power that anchors a charging bear right now, but also a rifle you can actually carry for 50 miles through waist-deep snow. That's the crucible where only a handful of cartridges have truly proven themselves. And today, we're going to break down the 5 that have stood the test of time. The 5 that the people of Alaska have literally trusted with their lives. These are not just cartridges. They are survival stories written in brass and powder. Let's start with one that isn't just a caliber. It's a legend. The .375 Holland & Holland Magnum. Born in London over a century ago, this cartridge has seen it all. Charging Cape buffalo, rampaging elephants, and yes, more than a few brown bears that decided they owned the mountain. It didn't become famous because of marketing. It became famous because it worked, every single time. With bullet weights ranging from 235 to 300 grains, this round has power to spare. That heavy 300 grain load? That's the one the Alaskan guides trust when they're betting their life. Thick hide, dense muscle, heavy bone. It doesn't just punch through, it plows. And yet, here's the twist most folks miss. It's not just a short-range hammer. In the hands of a seasoned rifleman, the .375 Holland & Holland Magnum can stretch past 300 yards with remarkable precision. It shoots flatter than most expect and hits harder than anything in its class. That's what makes it so rare. It can handle both sides of Alaska's hunting spectrum. A bear charge in the brush one moment, a moose standing broadside across a glacial river the next. 100 years later, this cartridge still hasn't given hunters a single reason to doubt it. That kind of legacy doesn't come from talk. It comes from survival, has earned respect the hard way. And right behind that old-school hammer of a round stands a modern titan, the .338 Winchester Magnum. Ask anyone who's guided a hunter from Kodiak Island to the Brooks Range, and they'll tell you this. If Alaska had a state cartridge, the .338 Winchester Magnum would wear the crown. It's not just a favorite, it's a lifeline. The reason? Versatility. This cartridge doesn't box itself into one role. With bullet weights ranging from 185 to 300 grains, it can morph from a flat-shooting caribou killer to a deep-driving brown bear brawler with a simple change in load. A 250-grain bonded soft point will break through heavy shoulder bone, keep going straight, and deliver the kind of penetration that ends a fight before it begins. But swap that for a lighter bullet, and suddenly you've got a laser beam stretching across the tundra. It's that adaptability that keeps this caliber in every Alaskan's toolkit. It bridges the gap between range and reality. It's a rifle you can shoulder in a storm, drag up a ridge, and still rely on when the snow turns to rain and visibility drops to nothing. But let's talk distance. When the country opens up and the ridgelines roll into the horizon, there's another contender that steps out of the shadow, the .300 Winchester Magnum. This is the cartridge of the open tundra. It's what you bring when the valley is wide, the wind never stops, and you need to thread a bullet through a crosswind that feels alive. The 300 Win Mag lives for those long shots. 300, 400, even 500 yards if you've put in the time behind glass. It's the definition of controlled chaos, blistering speed, rock-solid precision, and the authority to put a big bull moose on the ground with a single surgical hit. Most hunters run 150 to 180 grain loads, but you can push it past 200 grains if your rifle's built for it. This round doesn't just fly flat, it stays predictable. Across those glacier-cut valleys, predictability is survival. The 300 Win Mag bridges a crucial gap. It gives you the long-range performance of a target rifle and the sheer stopping muscle of a Magnum. And here's the beauty. It does all that without breaking your shoulder or shaking your scope loose. That's why so many Alaskans call it their one gun for everything. From grizzly bear to caribou, from frozen marshes to open tundra, the 300 Winchester Magnum has proven itself as the cartridge that never blinks. Out here, the modern Magnums might rule the long shots, but Alaska's hunting story isn't written only by the big bore bruisers. There's one cartridge that's quietly filled freezers, saved hunts, and proven itself through more generations than any social trend could ever survive. The 3006 Springfield. If the 338 Winchester Magnum is the muscle and the 45-70 Government is the hammer, then the 3006 is the heart. This round has built more American hunting legends than any other, and even in the unforgiving North, it hasn't surrendered its ground. For over a century, it's been there in the hands of hunters who trek from the Kenai Peninsula to the Brooks Range, taking on moose, elk, and caribou without flinching. The brilliance of the 3006 lies in its balance. It's not a brute, and it's not a showboat. It's the cartridge that does its job without complaint. With bullet weights starting at a featherlight 110 grains for deer and caribou, stepping up to 150 or 165 grains for an all-around setup, or going heavy with a 220 grain slug, it adapts to the hunt. Push it to the top end, and suddenly you're running alongside the Magnums in performance, without the wrist-breaking recoil. Does it hit like a 375 or a 338? No, but that's not the point. What it gives you instead is control, confidence. When your gloves are soaked, your heart is racing, and you can barely feel your trigger, that's when the 3006 Springfield shines. Accuracy beats recoil every single time, and this cartridge rewards the hunter who trains hard and shoots true. And here's another piece of truth that every Alaskan knows: availability. You can hike into a small-town hardware store off the Yukon River, and right there, behind the counter, you'll still see boxes of 3006 sitting proud on the shelf. That's not nostalgia. That's survival logistics. It's a shared trust that connects every corner of the frontier. When the plane's grounded, the barge is late, and the weather's closing in, that availability might just mean meat in the freezer or a life saved. Now let's pivot to something raw, primal, and unapologetically American. A cartridge so old it predates the telephone, yet so potent it still rides the shoulders of guides in bear country today, the 4570 Government. Forged back in the 1870s, this round was never supposed to fade away. And thanks to modern ammo development, especially the Plus P loads, it's become a monster reborn. We're talking bullet weights that range from 250 grains all the way to 500 grains. But the Alaskans who depend on it lean into those heavy 325 and 405 grain hardcast loads, the kind of projectiles that don't just expand, they crush. The 4570 isn't about long-range performance. Its comfort zone is short, brutal, and immediate, 150 yards or less. That's not a weakness. That's its purpose. Picture thick alderbrush, tangled timber, snow knee-deep, and visibility measured in feet, not yards. Out there, when a brown bear erupts from the brush at 20 yards, there's no time for a rangefinder. There's no dialing turrets. You shoulder that lever-action rifle, you cycle fast, and you deliver a freight train hit that ends the charge right there. At that distance, a 405 grain slug doesn't just stop the threat, it ends it instantly. That's why, even in the 21st century, this 19th century round still rides in scabbards from Kodiak to Nome. These are the tools of survival. No hype, no gloss, no compromise. The .375 Holland & Holland Magnum, the .338 Winchester Magnum, the .300 Winchester Magnum, the .3006 Springfield, and the .4570 Government. Each one earned its place not through advertising, but through trust written in blood, frost, and legend. So, what do you think? Did we miss a cartridge that deserves a spot on Alaska's Wall of Fame? Drop your pick down in the comments. Tell us your go-to rifle when everything's on the line. And as always, stay safe, stay sharp, and shoot straight.